Christmas today, and Christmas always brings back some memories for me because it was Christmas Day 2009 that I became an alcoholic. And it was about 7 months after my grandparents had convinced me to abort mine and Rory's child, move off of Oahu, and come work for them. They brainwashed me at 21 years old into thinking that I could never build a good life there, and a surfer would never be the right man for me. I needed to chase money, you know? And so I needed to come home and work for them. And my grandfather did most of the convincing. And shortly after I moved back and started living with them, my grandfather then offered me $2 million to have sex with him. At 20, I was 22 years old at that time. At 22, that really rocked my foundation. And after my grandmother found out, she wrote me an email. And I woke up, it was Christmas morning, telling me that it was all my fault, that I made him want me. This was all my fault, and I was just a baby killer and a money-hungry little slut, and that she would cry for my unborn child for the rest of her life. She was the one that drove me to the abortion clinic and told me to do it. The moment I read that email and those words that I was a baby killer, I couldn't breathe. I needed to be numb. I needed something to numb me immediately. It needed to go away immediately. That's not who I am. That's all I remember saying, like, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. I loved Rory. I wanted to be with him. I wanted to stay on the island. I wanted to have a baby. I didn't try to convince my grandfather to fall in love with me and offer me money. This is not who I am. And I got up from the couch and I went into the kitchen and I tried to find anything to just take the words that I just read out of my head. And I saw a bottle of Belvedere that was my roommate's, and I drank the entire bottle, and I woke up in a puddle of my own piss the next morning. Little did I know that Christmas morning, I would carry that alcoholism and pain with me for the rest of my 20s, and I would let it just turn me into a person that loved to throw rocks at her glass house. I would become someone that would just self-destruct. I would build something up and destroy it, and I continued this on my entire life. I just destroy everything that I love. It's just been a common theme for me, and I finally got help for it. And it all happened because at 28 years old, I got angry and a girl brake checked me and I purposely rammed her. That night snowballed, and I ended up fighting 4 felonies, 3 misdemeanors, and minimum 8 years in prison. And I just remember standing in front of this judge and just like not being able to use my voice, and only my lawyer could talk, and just thinking, like, this is not who I am. I'm not a felon. I'm not a bad person. And they were telling me that I was, and this is not who I am, just screaming it. Like, and we would go to court and we would fight and fight and fight, and they kept telling me, no, you have to at least choose 1 felony. You're getting a felony on your record. This is it. And I just remember telling them, my lawyer, like, if I get a felony, I can't drive on base. I'm gonna ruin my whole business. It will just, like, I won't be able to work. And he said, don't worry, kid, you'll come up with something else. Just choose one and just do your time and let's be done with this. No, I'm not gonna be a felon. I am not a felon. And finally, the last court date came before trial, and my lawyer came out and said, if you don't choose 1 felony, the next court date's trial, I'm dropping you as a client. I'm not going to fight for you because I know that you're going to lose, and you're going to go to prison, Morgan. During mediation, when the judge and the lawyers are talking, I stand outside of the courtroom, and my lawyer came out and told me, you know, here are your options. This is what you need to choose. And I told him no, and that I would go to trial. And so he went back in there. And as he walked back into the courtroom, I dropped to my knees and I started sobbing in front of everyone on the 3rd floor by myself, on the 3rd floor of this fucking courthouse. I was on the floor in front of hundreds of people screaming, no, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. And God, please help me. God, please. And I was crying and sobbing so hard. It just so happened that my DA's superior walked by me, and he went into the courtroom and he told the judge that something wasn't right. Something's not right here. You need to tell that woman to write me a letter of why she shouldn't be in trouble. My lawyer came out and said, kid, this is unheard of in my entire career, but they're gonna let you write a letter and let them know why you shouldn't be a felon. He gave me a pat on the back and said, you go home and write that letter. And it was Thanksgiving weekend, and I went home and I didn't write a letter. I wrote a fucking book, and I bound that book, and I went to doctors, and I showed all my crazy hormone levels, and I just wrote this story of my life saying that this is not who I am. I'm not a bad person. I have integrity. And on Thanksgiving Day, I dropped that fucking book off at at the DA's office. And then I went to court a week later, and the DA stood up and said, I don't see the reason that this woman should be a felon. And they dropped the charges. And it was just like, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I make a lot of mistakes on a daily basis. And the last week on Thursday, I uploaded a video, and I was a little afraid that the content would be just a little too raunchy, so I put it on Patreon for $1, thinking that, you know, only people that would pay $1 to see one of my videos would give me good feedback and tell me if I should just take it down or not. And it blew up into just a storm of people just hating on me. And I went to that guy's house that I've been talking to for all this time, this past year. I didn't believe the girl that told me that that was her boyfriend, and I went and saw him again anyways. And while I was at his house, I just continued to read all these hate comments from YouTube. Just all these people. I'm a bottom feeder. I'm a YouTube beggar. I'm just so much stuff. And I just was thinking, like, this isn't who I am. That's not who I am. People telling me that I tried to trick them. I tried to fool them into giving me $1, and this is not who I am. And it hurt. It hurt bad. And then after I left his house and I was driving, I decided, you know what, I'm going to open those messages that girl sent me claiming that that's her boyfriend. I'm going to read them. I need to put more pieces of this puzzle together. And I read them, and it's true. Like, it was screenshots of all their conversations, and it was so true. They were in this full committed relationship for years. And it's like, you just lied to me and fooled me and made me feel, and deceived me and made me feel just so tricked. And then so in the same morning, to have all these people telling me that I tried to fool them and deceive them and make them feel tricked into giving me $1, I was driving, and I was just on a rampage while I was driving. And I can't drive bad. I'm not allowed to. And I was going like 110 miles down the freeway, swerving in and out, flipping everybody off. I mean, just, again, destructing myself. Had a police officer pulled me over, I would have gone to jail. And I was just so angry, and I remember I was almost to my RV, and there was this huge cliff, and I just thought, oh my God, if I just make a hard right now, it will just like end it. I'll just end it. This is not who I am. I'm not an asshole. And I was freaking out. And then right when I looked at the cliff and I just thought about making that right, a song came on, and it was a song that I loved when I lived with Rory. And he took his life, and it's like, I can't. I want to live, and I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel like I have to just keep standing up and saying, this isn't who I am. This is who I fucking am. This is who I am. And so the other night, I just made the decision that I was going to stop uploading onto YouTube. I was going through and trying to respond to some of your guys' comments, and one guy said, oh, I can't wait to watch this batshit crazy woman destroy her channel, and so, something along those lines. And it was just like, he's so right. It is only a matter of time until I completely destroy this channel, and I don't know if I'm mentally like able to go through that. And so it really had me thinking that I was just gonna quit, and that this isn't smart for me to do, because it just means too much to me, and I feel like I've lost everything that means so much to me already that I can't handle anymore, you know? I just can't. This little girl's just broken. So I thought that I would just make one last video and just let YouTube be what it is for me, and that's just a place where I can go on and watch other families and not feel alone when I feel really alone, you know? But what if I didn't fuck it up? Imagine that. What if I actually didn't screw this up? Is that possible? Is it a possibility for me? Is it a possibility for me to just have something good and to not fuck it up? And so I was gonna quit, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just try to ride this out and keep doing my thing. Sorry, I'm an emotional mess, but now maybe you guys understand why I'm so emotional. It's just a lot. I'm just carrying so much with me every single day. And so that's where I'm just like, I'm just off to go have some fun, you know? I'm gonna be 33 years old this year, and I want a family, and I want good things, and I want good friends, and I want love in my life, and I don't want to cause any more destruction. So 2019 goal, no more sabotaging my life, okay? Just nothing to sabotage my life. That is a possibility. And so if you guys want to support me and you want to be here for me during this journey and you want to go on it with me and you want to go just try to find some happiness with me, then let's roll. If you just want to come on here and hurt me, you can go ahead and do that, but I think that you probably can find better things to do with your time. That's, I think, the last time I'll ever address hate. You can't break what's already broken. So, the shit show will go on.
No, I just wanna be a better man as I go.